Real Madrid have just crossed a line. Not on the pitch, but off it. Their in-house TV channel is targeting referees. Now rival clubs are furious, officials are breaking down in tears, and the entire Spanish league is starting to fracture. And if you think that doesn't affect you, whether you support Barca, Brentford, or Boca Juniors, you're wrong. Let me show you how we got here and why it could change football as we know it. February 2024. Real Madrid are about to play Sevilla in the league. Prior to this match, their TV channel, Real Madrid TV, henceforth RMTV, shows a video criticising both the referee and the VAR referee for their decisions against Real in previous matches. Note that this is not the first time RMTV produced a video prior to the match criticising referees, and it certainly will not be the last time. Real Madrid end up winning the game 1-0. March 2024. The Spanish Football Federation opened an official investigation into Real Madrid after Sevilla complained about the RMTV referee video. January 2025. The Spanish Football Federation takes the unusual step of calling a meeting of first and second division Spanish sides to discuss refereeing issues. February 2025. This time, Real Madrid submit an official complaint. After a 1-0 defeat to Espanyol, they allege that the refereeing was, quote, scandalous. RMTV covers the allegedly incorrect refereeing decisions extensively. February 2025. Again. Real Madrid now refuse to attend the meeting of first and second division clubs to discuss refereeing issues. The meeting nevertheless goes ahead without them. February 2025. Again. RMTV does a video on the refs for the upcoming derby against Atletico, leading Real City rivals to tweet this image. 24th of April 2025. RMTV does another ref examination video, this time for the ref that will referee the final of the Copa del Rey against bitter rivals Barcelona. 25th of April 2025. The referee for the match has a tearful press conference where he warns against the pressure being put on referees and relates that his child is now being told at school that his father is a thief because of videos like those RMTV produce. Still the 25th of April 2025, Real Madrid refused to turn up to the traditional pre-match press conference or hold the traditional pre-match training. Later that same day, Real Madrid release a statement amidst rumours that they are considering boycotting the final. The statement says that they have never considered missing the match, but it also describes the actions of the tearful referee's press conference as, quote, hostility and animosity that have been manifested once again today against our club by the referees appointed for the final. According to Sid Lowe, a football journalist for The Guardian, the club want the referee to be removed from officiating the game. Real Madrid do not officially state this view, but they do leak it through media close to the club hierarchy. The same media that had previously leaked the possibility of them boycotting the match entirely. The referee and his team are not removed. 26th of April 2025. Barcelona beat Real Madrid 3-2 in the Copa del Rey final in a very exciting game in which 3 Real Madrid players received red cards in added time of extra time, and Rudiger, to use the youth term, crashes out completely. AKA, for us older people, he loses his head. He ends up throwing things at the referee from the sidelines and is subsequently suspended for a number of matches. So, there's the timeline. In a minute, I'll explain why this might actually be hurting Real Madrid themselves. But first, you might be tempted to shrug this off as another big club flexing its power. But depending on who you support, this might hit closer to home than you think. Obviously, if you support a La Liga club, or a club that is likely to play in La Liga anytime soon, this is a big issue. The biggest club in the world is actively piling pressure on referees who will be in charge when you play them. It doesn't take a genius to see why that might be a bad thing if you're not a Real Madrid fan. Moreover, as Sevilla from their March 2024 complaint point out, it's not just that RMTV pile on the pressure, it's that RMTV piles on the pressure and the thousands of Real Madrid fans attending the games take this message to the stadium, which amplifies the pressure on the referee exponentially. And obviously this is very concerning if you're a fan of a Spanish club, and especially so if your club is likely to be challenging Madrid for domestic titles, as big matches tend to be when the pressure on referees is really ramped up. But this is all pretty obvious, right? What about if you don't support a Spanish club at all? Well, here's why even you should still care. For a reasonably sized group of you, there's an obvious answer as to why you should still care about this. If you're a fan of a big team, one that is likely to find itself in the Champions League or now the Club World Cup, then you might well play Real Madrid at some point. And given that these are obviously big matches for Real Madrid, it's not that unlikely that RMTV might start doing videos on the ref in the same way they do for La Liga. And this should be concerning for you for the same reason it's concerning for Spanish clubs. But what about those of you who support clubs that aren't likely to be playing Real Madrid anytime soon? Your lower tier Prem clubs and much further below, both in the UK and abroad. Why should you care about what Real Madrid get up to when the reality is you'll probably never play them and therefore it will never affect you? Well, actually it might well affect you, and indeed it probably already is. Why? Because this sort of intense club-facilitated pressure from the biggest team in the world sets a precedent. When Real Madrid do these sorts of things, the rest of the football world watches and they take notes. When such a prominent club can openly question and pressure the people who are in charge of the very matches they play, then this plants the seed in other clubs' minds that perhaps they could do the same. And this is a very worrying prospect because it opens the door to more clubs adopting such approaches, further placing into jeopardy the idea of a fair and equal game. And on the topic of a fair and equal game, this is a particularly worrying development because it is yet another area in which rich, established mega clubs can further entrench the vast inequalities that are currently plaguing football. This is because it is these established, rich mega clubs who can run TV channels, and indeed have an audience for these channels, who have sympathetic national newspapers or sympathetic local newspapers, or who have millions of fans who are willing to pressure the referee from the stands and to continue pressuring the referee on online forums and in online discourse. To be clear, I'm not just talking about Real Madrid here, I'm talking about all these sorts of mega clubs. The sheer weight of their fans and the wider apparatus they have will overpower more reasonable voices, and these narratives about referees and their alleged biases will go from fringe ideas to mainstream thoughts that get discussed and, in quote marks, debated on podcasts, TV and YouTube shows throughout the world. It is these established rich megaclubs who can dodge accountability for their actions by refusing to go to press conferences because they know that they can control the narrative better with their own media channels and their own legion of fans online and famous ex-players in the press. You might be watching this thinking, well, that still doesn't matter to me. I support a team who's never going to be competing with or even in the same league as one of these extremely rich mega clubs. So what they do and how it affects their competition doesn't matter to me because my club isn't their competition. But it's not just that these clubs are rich, it's that they're richer. It's not just that they're big, it's that they're bigger. This is all relative. There will be other teams you're playing or could soon play if you qualify for international competition or get promoted that will dwarf your club in terms of riches, fan base and influence, even if they aren't quite as big as Real Madrid. Ask yourself, what happens if these teams start doing a version of what RMTV are doing? Maybe putting out these comments on their socials rather than a TV channel, or using their fan base that, while smaller than Real Madrid's, is much bigger than yours. It might not be the same amount of pressure that things like RMTV can apply to a referee, but it doesn't matter as long as it's more pressure than your club can apply. So you should care about this no matter the size of your club, because when bigger clubs spot an opportunity to get an advantage, they can and will exploit it to further entrench the inequality in the game at your team's expense. But even beyond the success of your club, there are deeper reasons this matters, because this isn't just about who benefits or who suffers on the pitch. It's about the integrity of football itself and the people we're willing to harm to win. Here are 3 reasons why you should care no matter who you support. First, obviously the thing that I have not explicitly said but that hangs over this video like the proverbial ghost at the feast is that obviously this is bad for the game. To have referees be influenced in this way threatens the integrity of the game. To have referees terrified of public pressure from certain clubs is bad for the game. If we watch a match and think, well, did that ref let that foul go because he's been hounded by this club and its fans for weeks? Then obviously this is bad for the game. And that's true even if the ref isn't actually affected by it, but we just think he is because we've all seen the videos. It sows doubt about whether we can trust that what we're seeing is actually fair. Second, if referees are consistently put under such pressure that they have family bullied and insulted, and then they burst into tears at press conferences, then obviously no one will want to become a referee. This makes the pool of referees much smaller, and thus the quality of referees will get worse. Third, and probably most importantly, not to get all Disney Channel here, but on a human level, referees are just normal people. It seems exceptionally cruel to turn the apparatus of the world's biggest club, and if this starts spreading, other clubs as well, towards someone just trying to do their difficult, very pressurized job, especially when this is so clearly affecting them personally and their family. I mean, just have some basic empathy for them as human beings. But what about if you're a Real Madrid fan? Should you care about this at all, if it's helping your club? Well, if you're a Madrid fan and you've got to the end of this video, then that's great. You've probably already disagree with the actions of RMTV, or you're just typing a very long comment telling me how wrong I am and haven't looked up yet. But here's one view you could take just in case. If you're a Real Madrid fan, you should care about this for the reasons I just said. You should care about football, the integrity of the game, the recruitment and level of referees, and the very fact that these referees are just human beings. And even if you don't care about this, if you're just a fundamentally selfish fan who only cares about winning, well, then you should still care, because this sort of pressure and chat about the referees looks like it's getting to Madrid's own players. Look at the Copa del Rey loss to Barcelona. 3 red cards on the day, and now Rudiger suspended for 6 games because he literally threw things at the referee. If this constant over-examination of the referee prevents Real's players from being able to have calm and reasonable conversations with or objections to a referee, then this head loss will negatively affect their game. It's a simple truth that being so emotional will cloud their judgment and their ability to play good, successful football. But more generally, when you constantly blame the ref, a trait I will admit is not exclusive to Real Madrid, but certainly not helped by things like RMTV, you turn down the possibility of introspection, of looking at yourself and your team and asking what you did wrong and what you could all improve on. This is the very nature of improving as sports people and as a sporting team. And this is why you should care even if you're a Real Madrid fan. This isn't just about one team. It's about fairness, about power, and about equality in football. It's about protecting the very essence of our game. This sort of pressure on referees needs to be stopped now before it spreads, both for your own club's sake and for the sake of the sport as we know it. So what do you think? Is this as dangerous of a slippery slope as I am suggesting? Or will this whole thing simply blow over? What can and should be done? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, then obviously please drop a like and subscribe for more thoughtful videos on the beautiful game. Here's a couple of videos to watch next. Thanks for watching.